The asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter held countless secrets, but none quite like this. Deep within a hollowed-out planetoid designated AB 274, Captain Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of humanity's greatest achievement, the HSS Retribution. The massive warship stretched nearly 2 kilometers in length, its obsidian hull seamlessly blending with the void of space, making it almost invisible to the naked eye. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steadied despite the weight of responsibility pressing down on her shoulders. The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency, their movements precise after years of secret training. "All systems nominal, Captain." Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez reported from his station. "Quantum shielding at full capacity, and the dark matter drive is maintaining stable containment." Technologies that the Kelfarian Empire believed were centuries beyond human comprehension hummed beneath their feet. For 15 years, while the Empire had guided humanity's development with carefully measured technological breadcrumbs, Earth's best minds have been working in secret, pushing the boundaries of physics and engineering. The incoming transmission alert cut through the quiet ambience of the bridge. "Captain, priority message from Earth Command," Communications Officer Yuki Tanaka announced, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. The message was brief but concerning. 3 Kelfarian battlecruisers had entered the Sol system, heading directly for Earth. Not an invasion force, but a show of strength, the kind that usually preceded new protective measures being imposed on developing civilizations. "They're getting bolder," Rodriguez observed, his jaw tightening, just like they did with the Arcturians last year. Chen remembered the Arcturians well, a promising young civilization that had dared to develop faster-than-light technology without Kelfarian oversight. Now their homeworld was host to a permanent Kelfarian advisory base, their space force reduced to short-range patrol vessels. "Display tactical overlay," Chen ordered. A 3-dimensional map of the solar system materialized in the center of the bridge, showing the Kelfarian vessels' approach vector. Their formation suggested confidence. No, arrogance. They weren't expecting any resistance. Deep in the ship's quantum core, the AI known as ARIA processed the tactical data at speeds that would have shocked their would-be overlords. The Kelfarians believed true AI was impossible, that organic brains were required for higher-level decision-making. Just another assumption they'd made about humanity's capabilities. "Message from Admiral Hassan," Tanaka reported. "The Kelfarian ambassador is requesting an emergency meeting with the Earth Council. They're citing concerns about unauthorized technological development." A bitter smile crossed Chen's face. The Kelfarians had detected something, perhaps one of the smaller breakthroughs that Earth had deliberately allowed to surface. But they had no idea what was really waiting in the asteroid belt. "How long until they reach Earth orbit?" Chen asked. 17 hours at their current velocity, Rodriguez answered. Chen walked to the forward viewport, watching as maintenance drones scurried across the Retribution's hull, performing their final checks. The ship represented humanity's refusal to accept the role of grateful subordinates in the galactic community. While the Kelfarians had expected them to slowly advance along their approved technological pathway, humanity had taken their basic principles and revolutionized them. The quantum shields weren't just defensive barriers. They could bend space itself. The dark matter drive didn't just provide propulsion. It could manipulate gravity wells to create invisible corridors through space. Every system aboard the Retribution represented a leap forward that their mentors had thought impossible. "Begin power-up sequence," Chen ordered, "but maintain stealth protocols. Let's see what our friends from the Empire have to say first." As the crew carried out their orders, Chen thought about the 15 years of preparation that had led to this moment. 15 years of secret construction, of breakthrough after breakthrough, of thousands of people maintaining absolute silence about humanity's true capabilities. The Kelfarians thought they were shepherding humanity's development, ensuring they remained dependent on Empire technology and guidance. They were about to learn that humanity had other plans. "Captain," Rodriguez called out, his voice tight with anticipation. Earth Command has updated the tactical assessment. The Kelfarian vessels are carrying more than triple the normal complement of troops. Not just a show of force then, Chen concluded. They're planning to establish a permanent presence. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. The Kelfarians weren't coming to issue another warning or impose new restrictions. They were coming to take direct control. Send word to all departments, Chen ordered, her voice carrying the steel of command. Mission clock starts now. We are at condition 2. As alerts sounded throughout the massive ship, Chen gazed at the tactical display, showing the approaching Kelfarian vessels. They still moved with the same confident precision, unaware that their actions were about to trigger the reveal of humanity's greatest secret. The time for hiding in the asteroid belt was coming to an end. Soon, the galaxy would learn that humanity had outgrown its cage. The Kelfarian ambassador's hologram dominated the Earth Council chamber, his crystalline carapace refracting light in ways that still fascinated human observers. Ambassador Xelthor's voice carried the practiced patience of one speaking to lesser beings. We have detected quantum frequency anomalies consistent with unauthorized weapons research, he announced to the assembled representatives. The Empire cannot allow such dangerous experimentation to continue unchecked. Defense Minister Helena Walsh kept her expression neutral, though her hands tightened imperceptibly beneath the council table. The Kelfarians had detected their decoy project. Exactly as planned. Behind her calm exterior, a secure quantum communicator silently relayed the ambassador's every word to the Retribution. Surely, Walsh responded, her voice measured. Developing defensive capabilities falls within our sovereign rights under the Mutual Development Treaty. The ambassador's secondary eyes flickered, a sign of annoyance in his species. The treaty exists to protect developing civilizations from their own technological missteps. Humanity is not ready for quantum-level weapons technology. In the asteroid belt, Captain Chen watched the diplomatic exchange with growing tension. The Retribution's crew had moved to battle stations, though their weapons remained powered down. Aria's prediction showed a 97% chance that the Kelfarians would attempt to show a force within the next hour. Lieutenant Rodriguez, Chen called out, status of the Kelfarian vessels. They've adjusted their formation, Captain, taking up tactical positions around Earth's major population centers. Their weapon systems are powered but not targeted. Yet, Chen thought, the Kelfarians were following their standard playbook. Position overwhelming force, then demand compliance. They'd done it dozens of times to other species. Back in the council chamber, Ambassador Xelthor's tone grew harder. We have been patient with humanity's ambitious nature, but we cannot ignore such blatant violations of technological protocols. The hologram shifted, displaying images of Earth's declared military assets, outdated ships and defensive systems that the Kelfarians had approved for human use. Your current fleet poses no threat to galactic stability. We intend to keep it that way. Walsh allowed herself a small smile. And what exactly does the Empire propose? For your own protection, Kelfarian peacekeepers will establish bases on Earth and your colonial worlds. All military research will be conducted under direct Imperial supervision. This is non-negotiable. The council chamber erupted in protests, exactly as the Kelfarians had expected. They had seen this reaction before, the initial resistance, followed by gradual acceptance once the reality of their situation became clear. But humanity had been preparing for this moment for 15 years. Ambassador, Walsh said, her voice cutting through the chaos, I'm afraid we must decline. Xelthor's primary eyes widened slightly, the first sign of genuine surprise he'd shown. This wasn't in his script. Minister Walsh, you misunderstand. This is not a request. On the Retribution's bridge, Chen received the coded signal she'd been waiting for. All hands, she announced, her voice carrying throughout the massive ship. This is the captain. Execute Operation Daybreak. The quantum core hummed to life, dark energy coursing through systems that defied Kelfarian understanding. Throughout the ship, crew members who had trained for years in secret moved with practiced precision. Multiple energy spikes detected from the Kelfarian vessels, Rodriguez reported. They're charging weapons. Right on schedule, Chen muttered. HFY begin countermeasures protocol. The A's response was immediate. Invisible quantum fields extended from the retribution, creating a web of sensor ghosts that would confuse Kelfarian targeting systems. In the council chamber, Ambassador Excelfor was delivering his final warning. You have 1 hour to reconsider your position. After that, we will be forced to take action to secure Earth's compliance. Walsh stood, her posture straight and proud. Ambassador, I believe it's time we showed you something. She activated her secure communicator. Captain Chen, you are authorized to proceed. The Retribution's stealth systems, developed through years of secret research, began to power down. The massive warship emerged from its hiding place in the asteroid belt, its quantum drives pushing it toward Earth at speeds the Kelfarians had thought impossible for human technology. Enemy vessels detecting our presence, Rodriguez announced. They're attempting to get weapons lock. Unsuccessful. HFY's countermeasures are holding. Chen allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. Open a channel to all Kelfarian ships. Let's introduce ourselves properly. The Retribution's emergence sent shockwaves through the Kelfarian command structure. Their sensors registered a vessel larger than their own battlecruisers, employing technologies they had believed were centuries beyond human capability. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the HSS Retribution, she broadcast, her voice carrying across space to the stunned Kelfarian crews. Your peacekeeping force is neither needed nor welcome in Earth space. You have 1 hour to withdraw. In the council chamber, Ambassador Excelfor's hologram flickered as he received the reports from his ships. For the first time in recorded history, a Kelfarian diplomat was speechless. The balance of power was shifting. Humanity's chains were about to break. The hour passed like a bolt of lightning through space. On the Retribution's bridge, Captain Chen watched as the Kelfarian vessels maintained their aggressive positioning around Earth. Their response to humanity's ultimatum came exactly as the tactical simulations had predicted. Incoming transmission from the Kelfarian flagship, Tanaka announced, her fingers steady despite the tension. The holographic display materialized, showing Fleet Commander Zarkax, his crystalline features arranged in what humans had learned to recognize as contempt. This deception will not stand, he declared. Surrender your vessel for inspection, or we will be forced to demonstrate the consequences of defying the Empire. Chen's response was calm, measured. Commander, I suggest you check your sensor readings again, particularly the quantum signature of our shield harmonics. A moment of confusion crossed the alien commander's features as he received the data. Chen could almost see the realization dawning, the impossible truth that humans had not only mastered quantum shielding, but had evolved it beyond anything the Empire possessed. Impossible, Zarkax breathed. These readings, they can't be accurate. HFY, Chen called out. Execute defense pattern echo. The AI responded instantly. The Retribution's quantum shields shifted, creating a cascading wave of energy that rippled through space. The Kelfarian vessel's own shields flickered as the wave passed through them. Not an attack, but a demonstration. That was a zero-point energy cascade, Chen explained, allowing a hint of pride to enter her voice. Technology you believed was theoretical. We've had it operational for 3 years. On the tactical display, the Kelfarian ships began to adjust their formation. Their confidence had been shaken, but pride in centuries of assumed superiority died hard. Multiple weapon locks detected, Rodriguez reported. They're targeting our primary shield generators, standard Imperial combat doctrine. Chen nodded. Let them try. HFY, initiate combat protocols but maintain defensive posture only. Let's show them exactly what they're dealing with. The first Kelfarian strike came as a barrage of quantum-tipped missiles, designed to overwhelm conventional shields through sheer volume of fire. The Retribution's response defied their expectations. Instead of attempting to block or evade the incoming fire, the ship's quantum shields curved space itself. The missiles found themselves traveling through loops of distorted reality, their own momentum carrying them back toward their launchers. By the first star, the Kelfarian commander's voice carried genuine shock. "Those are 10th-generation quantum torpedoes. You shouldn't even be able to detect them, let alone redirect them." Chen finished for him. "Commander, humanity has spent 15 years studying every scrap of technology you thought you were carefully controlling. We didn't just replicate it. We improved it." The Retribution's dark matter drive pulsed, moving the massive ship with an agility that should have been impossible for its size. It took up position between Earth and the Kelfarian fleet, its very presence a declaration that humanity would no longer accept the role of subordinate species. "Final warning," Chen announced, her voice carrying the weight of 15 years of preparation. "Withdraw your forces from Earth space, or we will be forced to demonstrate our full capabilities." The Kelfarian commander's response was to open fire with his fleet's main batteries. Streams of concentrated plasma, powerful enough to crack a small moon, lanced toward the Retribution. "Direct hits incoming," Rodriguez announced, but his voice carried no fear. The Retribution's quantum shields didn't just absorb the assault, they transformed it. The plasma streams were caught in carefully calibrated energy fields, their destructive power converted and channeled through the ship's systems. "Power surge registered," Rodriguez reported with satisfaction. "Shield capacity actually increased by 12%. RIA has successfully adapted the energy conversion algorithms." On the tactical display, the Kelfarian ships were adjusting their positions, their movements showing increasing uncertainty. Everything they thought they knew about humanity's capabilities was being proven wrong. "Target their propulsion systems," Chen ordered. "Minimal power. This is a demonstration, not a slaughter." The Retribution's response was precise and devastating. Focused beams of converted plasma energy lanced out, slipping through the Kelfarian shields as if they weren't there. Each shot disabled a drive system without causing catastrophic damage. Within moments, the mighty Kelfarian fleet hung motionless in space, their superior technology rendered ineffective by human ingenuity. "Channel open to all Kelfarian vessels," Tanaka reported. Chen stood from her command chair, her voice firm. "Your ships are disabled but intact. We could have destroyed them, but that's not our way. Humanity doesn't seek dominance, we seek equality. Remember this day, Commander. Remember that when you had the choice between accepting us as equals or trying to force our submission, you chose wrong." The silence that followed was broken only by the hum of the Retribution systems, a sound that represented humanity's triumph not just over the Kelfarians, but over the limitations others had tried to impose on them. The age of human submission was over. The galaxy would never be the same. News of the confrontation spread through the galaxy at quantum speed. Within hours, the Galactic Information Network was flooded with reports, speculation, and increasingly panicked messages from Empire officials. The species that had claimed technological superiority for centuries had been humbled by their supposed primitives. In the Empire's Grand Assembly on Kelfaria Prime, chaos reigned. High Counselor Vexna watched recordings of the battle for the 12th time, her crystalline form dimming with each viewing. The Retribution's capabilities defied everything they had believed about human technological progression. "Impossible," one of her advisors muttered. Their development curve suggested they were at least a century away from quantum manipulation. The calculations were precise. "The calculations," Vexna responded, her voice sharp as fractured crystal, "were based on assumptions. We assumed they would follow the same path we did. We assumed they would accept our guidance without question. We assumed wrong." On Earth, the Council chamber had transformed into a hub of diplomatic activity. Representatives from dozens of species, many of whom had never bothered to visit Earth before, arrived seeking audience. The message was clear. Humanity could no longer be ignored. Captain Chen stood at ease before the Council, her formal dress uniform a stark contrast to her usual bridge attire. Defense Minister Walsh was addressing the assembled representatives. For 15 years, Walsh explained, while the Empire believed they were carefully controlling our development, humanity was learning, adapting, and evolving. The retribution represents not just our technological achievement, but our potential when freed from artificial constraints. In orbit, the massive warship hung like a dark star, its presence both reassurance and warning. The disabled Calfarian vessels had been allowed to limp home, carrying with them proof of humanity's capabilities. "Captain," a voice called out. It was the Arcturian ambassador, his feathered crest rippling with excitement. "My people, we suffered under Calfarian protection for decades. How did you achieve this level of advancement in secret?" Chen's response was measured. "We learned early on that the Empire wasn't sharing technology. They were using it as a leash, so we studied everything they gave us, not just for its intended purpose, but for its underlying principles. Where they saw limits, we saw possibilities." The quantum communicator chimed, drawing attention to the main display. Ambassador Xelfor's hologram appeared, his usual confidence replaced by careful diplomacy. "The Empire has reconsidered its position regarding Earth's sovereignty," he announced. "We propose new talks, as equals, to establish—" "No," Walsh interrupted, her voice firm but not unkind. "The time for the Empire to dictate terms is over. Earth will join the galactic community as a full member, or not at all." The chamber fell silent. Never in recorded history had a developing world refused imperial negotiation. But then, no developing world had ever revealed capabilities that surpassed their supposed mentors. In the Retribution's quantum core, AI processed data from across the galaxy. Reports were flooding in of other species beginning to question imperial oversight. The careful web of control that the Calfarians had built was unraveling. "The Centauri delegation is requesting permission to dock," Rodriguez reported from his temporary station in Earth orbit. "Their science council wants to discuss technology exchange." Chen allowed herself a small smile. The same Centauri who had been forced to submit to imperial control were now looking to Earth for leadership. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. "The Empire made one fundamental mistake," Chen addressed the council. "They judged our potential by their standards, their limitations. Humanity has always exceeded expectations when challenged. We took their carefully controlled technology and saw possibilities they never imagined." The quantum display lit up again, showing feeds from across the galaxy. The news was spreading. Humanity had not only matched Calfarian technology, but had surpassed it. Species that had lived under imperial guidance for generations were beginning to see a new path forward. "We stand at a crossroads," Walsh declared to the assembled representatives. "The age of empire control through technological superiority is ending. Earth extends an open hand to all species who wish to join us in true collaboration and mutual advancement." In orbit, the Retribution's quantum shields rippled with energy, a reminder of humanity's newfound strength. But it was strength tempered with wisdom. They had learned from the Empire's mistakes. The galaxy was changing. The careful hierarchies and controlled development that had defined interstellar relations for centuries were crumbling. In their place, a new order was emerging, one where humanity's greatest achievement wasn't the technology they'd developed, but the example they'd set. The chains of limitation had been broken, not just for Earth, but for all species who dared to dream beyond the boundaries others had set for them. 6 months after the Retribution revealed humanity's true capabilities, the Sol system hosted an unprecedented gathering. Ships from 30 different species filled Earth's orbit, their designs as varied as the civilizations they represented. The Retribution maintained its vigilant watch, no longer a secret but a symbol of how far humanity had come. Captain Chen stood in the newly constructed Galactic Assembly Chamber in Geneva, watching representatives from across known space take their seats. The chamber itself was a testament to human ingenuity. Its quantum-enhanced architecture allowed real-time universal translation and holographic presence for species who couldn't survive in Earth's atmosphere. The first session of the Free Species Alliance will now begin, Defense Minister Walsh announced. Her voice carried through the chamber's advanced acoustics, reaching every delegate without need for electronic amplification. In the front row, the Arcturian delegation's feathers shimmered with anticipation. Behind them, representatives from the Centauri world sat tall and proud, their recent liberation from imperial oversight still fresh in their memories. Even a small delegation from Kelferia was present, though these were reformers who had seen the need for change. 6 months ago, Walsh continued, humanity demonstrated that the old model of controlled technological development was fundamentally flawed. Today, we take the first step toward a new future, one of collaboration rather than control. The main holographic display activated, showing the progress made since the confrontation with the Empire. Already, the free exchange of ideas and technology had led to breakthroughs that would have taken decades under the old system. On the Retribution's bridge, Lieutenant Rodriguez monitored the feeds from across the galaxy. Captain, the last of the Imperial advisory bases in Centauri space has been decommissioned. They're actually doing it. The Empire is withdrawing. The Empire's retreat wasn't born of pure altruism. After the Retribution had demonstrated humanity's capabilities, other species had begun revealing their own secret developments. The carefully maintained myth of Kelfarian technological superiority had crumbled completely. Quantum core efficiency has increased by 23%, Araya reported through the bridge speakers. The collaborative research with Arcturian scientists has yielded unexpected synergies. That was perhaps the greatest victory, the proof that different species working together as equals could achieve more than any single civilization working alone. The Free Species Alliance wasn't just about breaking from imperial control. It was about forging a new path forward. In the assembly chamber, a hologram of the galaxy spun slowly above the delegates. Points of light marked worlds that had joined the Alliance, growing more numerous by the day. The Empire's sphere of influence had contracted to a fraction of its former size. We propose, the Centauri Science Minister announced, the establishment of open research centers on neutral worlds. No more technological hierarchies, no more artificial limitations. Let all species contribute their unique perspectives and capabilities. The proposal passed unanimously. Around the chamber, delegates who had once been bitter rivals under imperial rule now found themselves working together, united by the example humanity had set. They're calling it the Chen Doctrine, Rodriguez mentioned with a slight smile. The principle that no species has the right to limit another's development. Chen shook her head, though she couldn't help feeling proud. We just showed them what was possible. They're the ones who chose to embrace change. The quantum display flickered with a priority message. The Arcturian fleet had successfully tested their first quantum shield generator, developed with human assistance. Another barrier broken, another step forward for a species the Empire had deemed not ready for advanced technology. Incoming transmission from Deep Space Array 7, Tanaka reported. They've detected unusual energy signatures from beyond the galactic rim, possibly artificial in origin. Chen smiled. Once, such a discovery would have been controlled and contained by imperial authorities. Now it represented something else. A new frontier for all species to explore together. The galaxy is changing, Walsh addressed the assembly. The age of imposed limitations is over. Together, we face not just challenges, but opportunities. The question is no longer what we're allowed to achieve, but what we can accomplish together. The Retribution's dark hull gleamed in Earth's orbit, no longer a hidden weapon, but a reminder of what determination and ingenuity could achieve. It had been built in secret to break humanity's chains, but its greatest victory wasn't in combat. It was in showing that any species could exceed the limitations others placed upon them. As the assembly session concluded, delegates from 30 worlds stood together, their differences set aside in pursuit of a greater purpose. The Empire had sought to control evolution through careful manipulation of technology. Instead, they had triggered a revolution that would reshape the galaxy for generations to come. Humanity had done more than prove their capabilities. They had sparked a transformation, turning an age of control and limitation into an era of possibility. The dawn of this new age brought with it a profound truth. The greatest achievements come not from power imposed, but from potential unleashed.